All right, this topic is about the unit circle. I did tell you you're responsible for memorizing the first quadrant of the unit circle, and being able to recreate that is going to be very important. I probably, though, will end up giving you a reference for the unit circle. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to talk to the other teachers and see what kind of reference I can get you. But you should be able to create the first quadrant of the unit circle from memory. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here's a coordinate plane. We're going to start with cutting this unit circle in half. That's our 45-degree angle. And then we can cut it into thirds as well. There we go. So it takes us pi units to get halfway around the circle. So this is pi over 2. This cutting it in half would be pi over 4. And remember, the number between 2 and 4 is 3, so this is pi over 3. And this would be pi over 6. We start with 0 over here. Talking about degrees, we have 90 degrees up top, 45 degrees here between them, and then we just count by 30s. So 30, 60, and then 90 up here. This would be 180 degrees. And then for our coordinate pairs, you can use logic in order to fill in these ones. We have moved to the right one space on the unit circle, so 1, 0. And here we've moved up 1 unit on the unit circle, so it's 0, 1. For all of the other coordinate pairs, you can use the hand trick to help you remember. If you put your 60-degree finger down, that's your index finger, you'll have 1 finger on the left. Always take the square root, divide by 2. You'll have 3 fingers on the right. That's square root of 3 over 2. For the center, you end up with 2 fingers on the other side, root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. Down here, you end up with the opposite of what you got before. 3 fingers on the left, root 3 over 2, and 1 finger on the right. So square root of 1 is just 1 over 2. So that's the first quadrant of our unit circle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the questions given to us. Question 39 says, determine the exact value of the following trigonometric value, sine of 5 pi over 6. Now, the first quadrant can only get you so far, but in order to find the sine, remember it's cosine, comma, sine, so the y value is what we're looking for, the y value of the coordinate pair at 5 pi over 6. Now, I'm not going to draw the entire unit circle for you here, but remember it is mirror images, and the main thing that changes is in this quadrant, goodness, in this quadrant, the x values have become negative. In this quadrant, the x and y values are negative. And in this quadrant, the x values are positive again, but the y values are still negative. And we have mirror images of what we had before. So we're looking for 5 pi over 6. Here's 1 pi over 6, 2, and 3. This would be 4, and this would be 5, this line right here. So it's this coordinate pair, the one closest to the bottom, it's the one closest to the bottom over here, so it's the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2, but the x value is negative. So we're looking for the y value, the sine, so it's just the number 1/2. So the answer to this one is 1/2. For question 40, it says the radian measure of angle theta is 4 pi over 3, so we're looking at angle 4 pi over 3. And it says it intersects the unit circle at a point. All we have to do is find the coordinate. So we're not actually looking for sine or cosine. We're looking for the entire coordinate pair, x, y, cosine, sine. We just want the whole coordinate pair. So all we need to do is find 4 pi over 3 on a unit circle. Pi over 3 is this guy up here. So this is 1 pi over 3. This would be 2 pi over 3. This would be 3 pi over 3. So 4 pi over 3 would bring us down here. Now, if you have the entire unit circle in front of you, that's going to be much easier. It's the one closer to the y-axis in the center. This is 4 pi over 3. The one closest to the y-axis here is a mirror image of this one. This one's a mirror image of this one. So it's going to take the same value, 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. It's going to bring it over here, 1/2 root 3 over 2, but the x value is negative, and it's going to bring that down here, 1/2 square root of 3 over 2, but down here both are negative, and that's our coordinate pair. So negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. And if you have the unit circle in front of you, it's much easier to see. You don't have to create it, it's already there for you. Last up, determine the exact value of the trig value, cosine of 120. Remember, cosine is the x value, sine is the y value. So I need to find the x value at 120 degrees. Now we've gone 30, 60, 90 with ours, so let's continue counting by 30, 30, 60, 90. The next one would be 120, which would be this one right here. And the coordinate pair is what we discovered just a second ago. It's the mirror image of this guy. That's 120, so negative 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. Cosine's the x value, so it's just negative 1/2. And that guy is all done. All right. That's going to be it for our review of the unit circle. I'm pretty sure I'll be giving you a unit circle on the reference sheet. I just have to confirm with my other teachers. Yeah, I'll talk to them about it and make sure that I can give you a unit circle. But worst case scenario, you should have the first quadrant memorized, so please make sure you review that first quadrant.